So what is going on, guys? This is Mike here and I am officially back making YouTube videos again. I was officially in Turkey for a week and oh my god did my Harry Maguire video explode. I mean just look at these views here. But anyway, enough about me. Today I have returned for an absolute banger, an absolute thwomper of a video. Midnight Motorist. For so long have theorists and gamers worked for hours upon end to solve this minigame, but I think I may have found the answer. Midnight Motorist is arguably the biggest mystery to solve in the FNAF franchise. Well, that alongside the green shirt, blue jeans guy from FNAF 3.
My favorite one so far. Nice job, team.
More on him later. I think the main issue is, well, there's a few questions proposed, like when does it happen? Who's the purple guy? He's not even purple, he's orange. But recently, I've been doing a bit of thinking, and I think I've found some absolutely extraordinary evidence to solve this mysterious minigame. For starters,
let's just stop and analyse what's just happened.
First of all, we're greeted with a car on the highway that the player can control. Now, my estimation is that this car is going at least 200,000 miles per hour. Which, if in this minigame is set to be around 1985 to 1990, must be at least fast enough to travel back in time. We can further emphasise this supportive argument by looking in one of the books, I don't know which one, where there are time-travelling ball pits. Do you know what this means? All fingers point to the driver is Dr. Emmett Brown. Yes, you heard me correctly. William Afton is Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future. The man who committed the murders is a scientist. And to be fair, I'm not actually wrong with that point, but yeah. Continuing on, now we have a solid base to build off. Let's have a look at the finer details. Dr. Emmett Brown could go in multiple different spots and locations in this universe. And the very first spot he can go to in this universe, how many times am I going to say universe in this sentence? The very first location we can see the Doc going to is what seems to be a mould or grave of some sort in the ground. And as Death is a very prominent figure in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise and can represent itself in many different ways, the one thing I have noticed about Scott's interpretation of Death is that everything is extremely obese. This also supports back to the FNAF 3 blue jeans, green shirt, red socks, orange tie guy. How fat is that? Going back to the minigame now, take a look at this pile of dirt. Earthy grey pixels and stuff. Look familiar? No? Take a closer look. If you take this image and rotate it upside down, what does this shape line up with exactly that isn't from the universe? The Axiom from WALL-E.
It's astonishing. It's absolutely world-class.
I know it's a long shot, but hear me out. You may be thinking,
Are you having a laugh or what?
going back to my point of Death being a very large figure when interpreted, what do we see on the Axiom? Tons and tons of obese, melting humans. Now, what does this mean exactly, you may be thinking? Well, I think I have an answer to that. See, if you take a look at the ship's design, especially from the very front of the ship, nonetheless where the passengers and other ships enter the Starliner, the outline at a stretch can look tiny bit like a mouth. And where else in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe do we see stomach mouths on animatronics? FNAF 4, and most prominently in the Nightmare Simon Cowell animatronic. Now let's leave that there for a minute and let's return to the minigame. Let's have a look where Doc Brown goes next. A bar called Junior's. However, he gets showed away trying to return, meaning he's been there before? Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I also believe this links to the theme of rejection. Time for a bit of GCSE English. Take a look at this scene. A remote building surrounded by trees and a few cars scattered around. It's messy, until your eyes get drawn to the near centre of the screen at this glowing green figure.
Face filters on Instagram today.
What do our minds get drawn to when we see a luminous, shiny green object or colour?
Little Chinese boys from all over the globe.
That's correct. This mysterious figure is Sam's Taylor, standing, guarding and protecting his palace of young Chinese boys and fit, slim Asians from this horseradish of a man that is Doc Brown. But how can we tell? Well, if we have a look at what juniors actually means, it's usually referred to something smaller, timid and more kid-friendly. Toys, if you will. Let's analyse a bit further, okay? In the FNAF 2 game, what can be seen in the Cam 10 of the establishment?
Little Chinese boys.
1, 2, 3, my baby don't man.
Something Sam's Taylor is exactly attracted to. Now let's go back to the minigame. What do we see? A luminous figure keeping his establishment of young Chinese boys safe from the doc. We're getting somewhere. Now our beloved Doc gets shunted down and scurries back to his house, and here is where things take a huge turn and two more characters get introduced. Let's have a look at the first. The figure watching the television. Let's see what we can gather from the naked eye. This figure seems to be quite small, thin, and overall shy to the outside world, making YouTube videos in his bed. Now where else in the franchise do we have a perfect glance of a television? That's right, sister location. While this mystery character is watching Kung Fu Panda in his room before Ennard somehow gets in, I don't know how. Let's look right after the show ends. Can you see that as well? Standing there on the opposite side of the television that we're looking through, the Axiom in black and grey lines staring back at us. Something known for its deathly quarters, just like we analysed before. Now this may be a long shot, but hear me out on this one. I believe that the Axiom represents death, and that must mean that this figure watching death live is also dead. That's correct, folks. The person watching this programme is watching through lifeless eyes, almost identical to the eyes shown in the heads of the rare screens from FNAF 2 of Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy, who is absolutely badass by the way, and Toy Bonnie. Now let's try and slim this down. Now the Axiom is also shaped with the prominent FNAF 4 mouth in the stomach. This must eliminate Toy Bonnie, because Toy Bonnie makes no appearance and has no design flaw that could possibly have a mouth in his stomach.
Fucking hell, what's the difference?
This now leaves Freddy and Foxy. Let's have a look at the designs. 2 eyes for Freddy and an eye patch in the shape of a visor for Foxy. Let's have a look at the Axiom again. What do we see on the front with the windows? An absolute clear as day visor through the front of the ship. This leaves no mistake that the person watching the television programme from the Foxy, Withered Foxy head, shall we say, is the child that possessed Foxy. It's clear as day. I don't want to hear it anywhere else. Now let's go to the ending of FNAF 6 where we can see the children's names on the graves possessing the animatronics. Who is the one possessing Foxy? Roy Cropper from Coronation Street.
I am not listening to any more of your
Load of bollocks.
This person watching TV on his fat arse is Roy Cropper. More dots are appearing and more points are being proven. Now what was the point of the show? At the end credits, it's all about death. Does this mean Roy Cropper is dead? No, it can't be. His best pal... Oh my god. That was the reason he was turned away from the young Chinese palace. It's because his best friend, Roy Cropper, had died. I figured it out. This explains the Axiom before too, being symbolism for the death. The friends passing and the shattered friendships from the inevitable compounding that is death. I've actually solved it. Come on guys, That deserves at least 10 likes. Oh. What about the other character, you say? Who asked for your opinion? Right, you listen here, and you listen close. If you ever pipe up about any of my theories again, I'll spank you in the head, and I'll hit you in the ear, okay? Now quit it! I think I will leave that for now. The final character is coming next week on Theory Thursday. We're doing it. We're going to get the whole gang. We're going to get freaking everybody. Comment down below. Are you excited for Theory Thursday? Okay, I'm not doing that. But yes, that was my first take of recording a FNAF theory. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate every thumbs up I get. And that just wraps it up. I hope you did enjoy. And peace out.